All right, so it is March 3rd, 2026, and this is my round two recap. So, going over February, and I think I won. Well, I won't even say I think I won. I won. Now, still didn't go how I planned. So, going into February, my mindset was let's get rolling with insurance. I got through my training. I was trying to build my routine around what was going to be the most efficient, effective way for me to become successful in insurance, do the things I need to do, make the calls, make the appointments, do the presentations, all of that good stuff. Well, as soon as I got into the month, the good thing was I reintroduced a lot of things into my morning routine. I had pretty much gotten to the point where I was really just doing my walk. Maybe sometimes I would do my push-ups. So I was still making sure the vast majority of the time in the morning, the two things that I was prioritizing was making sure that I pray and then, making sure that I went on my walk. So I got back to my little circuit and got back to doing my yoga for my upper back and neck and doing my stretching for my lower body. All of those things, I have been trying to be mindful of the little aches and pains in my body. What's something I can deal with? What's something I need to address? So that's a big part of the stretching. I got to the point where I realized the Brooks shoes really help my feet, so I don't have the pain that I had in my heels months ago. So I can start back jogging. I can start back doing my big lap instead of the small lap. Because a lot of things I made adjustments or even stopped doing because my feet were hurting. I mean, not to overcomplicate it, my feet were hurting. I lost 4 pounds. I could have lost more, but I went to Dallas, I went to LA, and I went to Houston. So I took 3 trips, and I didn't regress. So I'm good with that. But more importantly than all of that is I figured out and I shifted my approach to go back to the basic of focusing on me and prioritizing what should be my priorities. And that's always going to go back to my relationship with God first. So to complete my entire morning routine is praying, reading religious text, Bible, Book of Mormon, doing my push-ups, dips, squats, lunges, planks, stretching, hyperbolic stretching, yoga routine, and yeah, so that's all of that stuff. But what I was doing, I would make sure I pray in the morning, then I would try to get out for my walk. Then once I got back from my walk, then I try to go through my circuit and then stretch. So, and then read. So I was neglecting reading sometimes. So I said I need to stop doing that. And then I did get to the point where I was doing everything. But realizing that I needed to prioritize that, it left me where it's like, okay, I gotta stop feeling guilty about taking care of myself and getting where I need to be, because that's the most important thing that I can do. So once I came to that realization and start trying to make the adjustments, it was still hard and it's still challenging now because I feel like I need to make some money, but also know that I'm in a position where that's just my conditioning, me kind of hanging on to having that scarcity mentality and operating from that position when Guy got me. So then the adjustment was not worry about work until I got everything done. And then I had to actually adjust the way that I do things. So the first major adjustment is because I had studying last, that's the most likely thing not to get done. But then when I think about it, that's actually the most important thing. So I moved that all the way up to the top of the routine. So when I get up in the morning now, instead of putting that off until after I do everything, I will pray and study before I do my routine and go on my walk. So initially the plan was to pray, study, walk, and then do everything else. I did that one day and I thought that made sense. But then immediately I realized the walk is the thing that I'm most likely to do. So now I make that last. So it forces me to do everything else before I do the walk. So now nothing will get neglected because I will do everything else before I go on my walk. So completely rearrange my morning routine. So I feel like I'll get better results from that. And got to catch up with 2 of my Army buddies. So that alone made the month a win. When I went to LA, I caught up with my guy, Fitz. We talked for a few hours. I gave him a little bit of direction on getting his VA stuff sorted out for his disability. Then that was the LA trip, and that was super beneficial just to get to spend that time, catch up, had a conversation, because we haven't seen each other since 2010 or 11. Then I just went to Houston and I got to catch up with another one of my friends from when I was in the military, my boy Branch. So that was a good experience. So yeah, February was a win. I lost 4 pounds. I figured out my routine, even though it took me the whole month to figure it out. I got to the point where I'm comfortable prioritizing my wellness before worrying about a job and not feeling as guilty about it. I'm still working on that. But this year so far, I'm up 2-0. So I'm not gonna fall off like I did last year. This year is going to be the best year, but not even by a little bit, by a lot. So started off 2026 with a couple months of wins. So I have momentum going into March and just keep it going.